Welcome to Not in a Huff with Jackson Huff, where we interview newsmakers, storytellers, and all-around interesting people. Sit back, relax, unless you're driving, and enjoy the show. Here's Jackson.
Hello. I am Jackson Huff. This is Not in a Huff. Thanks so much for being here this week. Really appreciate it. I'll tell you, this is another great week, another great episode. Comes, I guess, with a confession, and it is that I kind of like reality TV shows. Now, not all the drama ones where it's just, a bunch of crazy fights and all that kind of stuff. Don't really enjoy that, but one that I really have, taken a liking to is one on TLC. And there's quite a few good ones on TLC if I have to be honest, but one that I really like is 90 Day Fiancé, and the premise of that show we're going to get a little bit into, but very quickly, it follows a couple who one is outside of the country and one of them lives here in the United States, and they have to get married, within 90 days to fill out the K-1 visa process. I'm going to get way more into that. And it's because my guest today is someone from 90 Day Fiancé, Evelyn Cormier. Now, I struggled with saying her name correctly in the interview. I hope I said it right that time, Evelyn Cormier. But the reason I wanted to talk to her is she's not, not just a reality star there, where she's actually got a really awesome budding music career. She was on season 5 of 90 Day Fiancé. She's married to the person that we saw on the show, David. He is from Spain. We learned all about the process of their engagement and getting married within those 90 days. But she also was on American Idol a few seasons ago in 2019 and made it to the top 14. So just a really nice person, an interesting person. We're going to get all into, the process of getting on 90 Day Fiancé, process of getting on American Idol, whether, there's a lot of reality in these reality TV shows. But it was a great conversation. Like I said, she's a very, very friendly person. I really enjoyed speaking with her. I really enjoyed listening to her music, be preparing for this interview. Really interesting voice. I really, I liked her sound. She's got a Christmas single that came out, a really cool Christmas song. I know that this is coming out after Christmas, but hey, get it in your playlist and either be one of those people who listen to Christmas all year long, or save it for next year and jam out to it then. But I think you'll enjoy this one, and without further ado, here is my interview with Evelyn Cormier. I am here today with Evelyn Cormier. How are you, Evelyn?
I'm good. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Thanks for joining me. So obviously we're going to talk all about 90 Day Fiancé, about American Idol. But before that, tell us just a little bit about yourself outside of, those two shows that we've seen you on.
Yeah, I feel like I'm a pretty low-key person. I like to say that I'm pretty introverted as far as, aside from being on TV and being a performer, I'm definitely very introverted. I love reading. I prefer to stay in versus go out. I love watching a good Netflix series. I'm into period dramas, just all kinds of historical fiction stuff. That's my life. I'm also an author. I love that kind of quiet aspect of creating as well.
I gotcha. So obviously, let's kind of dive a little bit into the two shows. For people who, have lived under a rock and have no idea what American Idol is, have no idea what 90 Day Fiancé is, just tell us a little bit about the premise of those two shows, if you will.
Yeah. So American Idol is a singing competition show where you are competing with tons and tons of other singers across the United States. Until ultimately the judges every week will cut it down until America starts voting in the finals. But it's pretty straightforward, just a contest. And then 90 Day Fiancé is a show that, this is actually a pretty big misconception. People often wow, you met a guy on the show and married him? Nope, that's not how 90 Day Fiancé works. 90 Day Fiancé is based loosely loosely, keyword, on the K-1 visa process, where you marry somebody who's not from the United States, and they just follow you and whoever you're already engaged to through that process as they come to America. And I know they do it like the other way now, and they do all kinds of different spin-offs. But that's the loose premise of the show.
I got you. Well, 90 Day Fiance, there obviously there may be people that don't know that. I feel like if you don't know American Idol, you're probably not listening to the podcast, just because that's kind of a big one. But you did mention loosely, and you said that several times. So why is it loosely based off of the K-1 visa process?
Because the K-1 visa process is like a very legal, tedious process, and definitely not interesting for TV. Yeah. And ultimately 90 Day Fiance is reality TV, and reality TV is for entertainment purposes. So it's embellished. It's a lot of drama. It's a lot of fun stuff going on. That's not exactly, how it really, really goes down.
Right. Yeah. And obviously all TV shows are all about trying to squeeze just as much drama as they can out of things.
Yeah.
So, and I feel like, honestly, in your season, maybe you didn't have as much drama as some. So I don't know for sure, but I don't know whether you were shown as much as some others, just because maybe it was just a little bit less drama that they could squeeze out of you. Do you think that, or?
I think that I was shown a fairly equal amount during our season. I know a lot of people don't. I was actually just hanging out with David and Annie. I know they're still on. They have a lot of spin-off stuff going on with 90 Day. But they're like, a lot of people don't remember us from season 5. They remember us from Pillow Talk. And so it's kind of like, they're filming and they're kind of almost, people just don't have that far back memory when it comes to watching reality TV. Yeah. And so I think that we were showed an equal amount of times as the other couples on that season, but whether or not people are remembering that far back, I don't know.
Yeah. Obviously, people just kind of remember the new seasons of everything and then start forgetting things for sure. So obviously, we've kind of talked about the premise of the two shows. Let's kind of get to, I guess, the results of the two. How far did you make it with American Idol? And then I know that the K-1 visa process was successful. So how is things going there?
Yeah, so on American Idol, I made it to the finalists. I was a top 14 finalist in 2019, and so that was pretty awesome. And then, the K-1 visa process went fine. It went smooth for me and David. It took about 9 months to approve, and during that time, David wasn't able to come to the States, so I would have to visit him in Spain, and, it was a hard time doing long distance for that long, but, plenty of people do it, and you just figure out how to make it work.
Right, absolutely. So, you mentioned that the misconception is that, that you find somebody on the show. So just briefly, I know it was covered in the show, but how did you meet your now husband?
Yeah, so David, he actually, he found my music on Instagram and followed me, and we just we ended up having a mutual friend, and we met that way, and it was really it really was crazy how it all happened, because we only had that one mutual friend, and they had mentioned to me that, oh, he's a really cool guy, and so I already felt comfortable with the idea of having him, come here and meet me, and we hit it off clearly.
Yeah, clearly. So yeah. I guess the next question just is, how do you join the show? I mean, or is there people out there that are looking for people who filed K-1 visas, or how did that all come about with 90 Day?
I mean, this show is constantly pumping out new seasons and new couples, and they're searching all the time, and they're also, they have you can send an email to them or whatever. My friend, actually one of my best friends, Michaela, was on the show with me as well. And she told me that, her family loved that show and that they watch it all the time, and that it's based around what I was doing at the time with David. And she's like, you should send them an email. They're casting right now. And at 18 years old, you're like, what 18-year-old kid's not being on reality TV? That sounds awesome. So I naively just was like, that sounds awesome. Sent them an email. They got back to me that night, hours after I sent it. And then a week later, I was signing contracts. It all happened super fast.
I would say so. That's crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah.
So now, obviously, since you were on that show, and then you joined another show later on in American Idol. But
Yeah.
how do you, I guess, how do you deal with, and I don't really want to get too much into anything with the show, but how do you deal with, I guess, just being in the public eye and definitely with your relationships? So those clickbait articles are out there that, 90 Day Fiance people have broken up, and then, there's just all those kind of goofy things. How do you deal with that?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of it, you just take it. It happens. I think it was hard to deal with at first because I was only 18 and you're dealing with life, and I was dealing with getting married, and then everybody, hasn't now watching online. They don't know me, and they're just seeing these little, manufactured clips, 10-minute clips of me, all of a sudden have opinions about me and are contacting me to tell me those opinions. And it was all pretty crazy, but you just manage it, and you just have to come to that reconciliation that it doesn't matter what everybody thinks about you. As long as the people in your life that know you and that love you, are proud of you and of what you're doing, if you're happy with what you're doing, that's all that really matters. You just got to stay focused on what you're trying to do and do it.
Right. Yeah. With the people I've talked to before that have been on reality TV or in the public eye, the crazy thing and the thing you got to deal with is all those, the trolls and ones that think they know more about what you should do with your life than what you do. And I guess the crazy part is that it's, all they see is that manufactured parts that you're talking about. Yeah. They don't really truly know the ins and outs of everything. So that's the crazy part to me always. So, you mentioned that you were hanging out with, who'd you say, David and Annie?
Yeah, David and Annie.
So are you still in contact with quite a few people from the show, or is it, and I guess I wonder if the relationships just kind of stick with the people that are on your season, or is there kind of a big 90 Day Fiance, family that you all kind of hang out, or how does that work?
Yeah. I mean, not everybody is like, interested in becoming friends with everybody, which is fine. Mm-hmm. But I think once you're on 90 Day, you all kind of have this very similar experience and this thing to bond over. And I am friends with a handful of couples, not from my season. I'm friends with people who were from our season, but we did seem to form a really good relationship with David and Annie that's lasted over the years. And we spent Thanksgiving with them in Arizona, which was really nice. It was, they're really super kind people, very down to earth. Nothing bad I could ever say about them.
Yeah, and I'm here in Indiana. I'm pretty sure they were pretty close at one point. Were they in Kentucky?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Very good. Very good. So what show, and I want to get to American Idol too, what show maybe creates the biggest sense of community with people that were on your season? Is it 90 Day or is it American Idol? But I know with American Idol, obviously you're there with the people on your season, while you're there, not just all spread out and people filming different things.
Yeah. I really think it's tricky because American Idol, I really did feel a sense of family. Like when you're spending so much time under so much stress, like I've never been under more stress in my entire life than when I was competing on American Idol. And, all these other kids are going through the same thing that you're going through, and they're putting you up with each other. So like I had a roommate who was also competing on the show, and we became such close friends during that time. And you just bond, and so it's good. But at the same time, there's that little tricky thing that you're competing against these people. You know what I mean? And so there's always that little anxiety of competition in the air. Whereas 90 Day, you're not competing for anything. You're just on a TV show. I mean, I guess maybe you could if you wanted more screen time or more drama or whatever. But it wasn't like that. And we definitely I have relationships from both.
Yeah.
Both shows.
Yeah. So I guess what would be something that would surprise us about 90 Day Fiance? Is there anything? I mean, I guess the big question I would have is, you're talking about the drama, and obviously drama sells. Yeah. I don't think it is, but maybe surprise me. Is it something that they ever manufacture any of the drama that happens?
Yeah. I mean, it really is meant for entertainment. And if you're not naturally problematic or dramatic, odds are the drama has been scripted. And it's very much like there's a producer behind the scenes saying, all right, talk about this. No, say it like this. All right, enter the room again, but this time act like you're suspicious and mad. but then say it like that. Like, so they're coaching you through the whole thing. And I mean, there are times where what you're seeing is real. I mean, sometimes you're not even saying what you actually said. Like when it's called like Frankenbite. So like they piece together little sound bites of what you've said to go along with their narrative or whatever it is. And that happens in a lot of shows for a lot of different reasons. But yeah, just the biggest thing I like to stress to people is that reality TV is definitely not reality. Right. You know, you just, as far as like, take it for what it is, it's entertainment. But as far as like, don't contact that person and tell them to die, like they were just on TV. Like, it's such a crazy thing. I can't even explain how people take it so seriously, but they do.
Right. Yeah. And I know you said obviously they kind of piece things together. So a question I would have is, how long from, the first day they filmed you to the end, how long does that whole process take? Because I know, I guess the thing that when I see that show, the way that they have to piece it together, I'm sure one whole story has happened before another one's even started, but, they intertwine them. So I'm just always kind of interested how things happen.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely varies for different people. I think one thing that played a factor in being very stressful for me and David is the fact that we were one of the last couples to be added to the show. And so we were filming like during the week, and then we would see the stuff we were filming on TV that Saturday or Sunday or whatever night they air. So it's kind of like it was happening real time for us. And so dealing with all the public eye and all the comments and everything, it wasn't like we were already happy and married and everything was great. And we were just kind of, oh, ha, 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 that's funny. Hear what they said. It was like people were commenting on what we were doing like right now. And it really felt like people were a part of it, even in ways that you didn't necessarily like,
Yeah, that's surprising, because what I would have thought would have been like, it was something that happened a year ago that we're just now seeing. So for it to have just happened, that's crazy. That had to probably add a little bit of definitely stress, if not strain, to the whole already complex situation. So that's crazy.
Yeah. No, it's very stressful planning a wedding in general. It's also stressful planning a wedding in 90 days, because 90 days is the legal amount of days that your visa is valid for. So that's where they get the name 90-Day Fiancé. When that visa is approved and they set foot in America, your 90 days starts and you have to get married within that time frame.
Right. One last 90-Day Fiancé question that I want to kind of get to American Idol is, you said that there's a million other shows, a million other spinoffs. Is it ever something that you're going to get back involved in?
I mean, we've definitely been asked to join different little things that they do. We didn't love filming 90 Day, just like, we didn't like love doing it. And so I'm probably more open to it than my husband is. My husband is way more private than I am. I mean, I'm constantly doing things and being in the public eye, but I think he'd be open to it in the future. And you never know. I mean, there might be some things in the works that I can't talk about, but there are some things that could possibly be happening.
Awesome. Well, stay tuned. So I know American Idol, we can kind of go a little bit quicker because I do think people kind of understand the process a little bit more. But I guess what's something that would surprise us about American Idol and the entire process? One thing that already surprised me that you said is I didn't realize that they put you up and you roomed with somebody else. So
yeah. I mean, I'm trying to think if there's anything surprising. I had a hand-selected private audition in New York City, so maybe like they do that. That might be surprising. A lot of people think that anybody can just go in and cattle call audition for American Idol in front of the judges. But I literally had like 2 prerequisite like auditions before I even got to like audition in front of the judges. And so I was contacted on Instagram from a casting producer from Idol who happened to see me on 90-Day Fiancé singing. And she was like, would you be interested in a private audition in New York City for American Idol? I'm like, all right, let's do this. Let's go. And so that's pretty much what ended up going down. That's how that happened. And I think that some people are shocked to know that somehow that's how Idol works.
Yeah, I think I've heard that. I think that it's almost rare these days for like the open calls to be somebody who goes very far. It's mostly people they've kind of picked.
Yeah, they have a lot of, social media these days. They have casting producers scanning and looking and searching all the time.
Yeah. Yeah. So a question I'd have too is they don't do it as much anymore, and I honestly haven't watched the ABC American Idol period, so I guess I'm bad with American Idol. But
That's okay.
um, do in the past, they would have I guess crazy auditions. You had She Bangs guy and things like that. So do
Yeah.
the people? Because I know that they audition several times before they actually get to the
Yeah.
TV judges. Do the people that I guess are, I don't want to say being made fun of, but the people that are, I guess, not really going to get anywhere and it's kind of more of a comedy thing, do they know it, or are they leading them on? Because I would hate to think that these people are being led on, but I don't know.
They're probably being led on. A lot of these people believe that they're the next American Idol or whatever. But I do have to say that American Idol is not really like that anymore. It went from being on Fox to being on ABC and somehow connected with Disney. And they're not about embarrassing people or making fun of people. They're, really, really encouraging, even to the kids that, viewers might see and be like, ooh. They're really still encouraging, like, you know what, you're not there yet, but if you got a dream, keep working towards your dream. The judges are so nice and extremely encouraging. So it's not the same as it was.
Right. I think I knew that, but it was just a question. So another thing would be about the judges. So, with other reality shows that I've talked to people about, they say that, the judges, they see them for about 2 minutes and then they get ushered out by their entourage. How much interaction did you really have with the big TV judges?
Yeah, I mean, so for my audition that was aired, I was probably in there for maybe 10 minutes. Maybe 10 minutes. And that was a 20-hour day for me. So, I mean, you're there all day long. I think I was second to last for auditions that day. And so it was an extremely long day. Emotions are running high. And so by the time you're standing in front of these celebrities, you're like, ugh, and trying not to lose it.
Right. Yeah. So enough of the shows. I want to talk about actually what you're doing now. Tell us a little bit about your Christmas single. I believe it's Christmas Time Again. So how did that come about, and what inspired you to create that Christmas single?
Yeah, well, I recently moved to Los Angeles, California, and my manager at the time was like, you got to write a Christmas song because Christmas songs are where the money's at. You can use them every year. Everybody's got to have a Christmas song. And I love Christmas time. It's my favorite time of the year, literally. And so I'm like, all right, I'm totally down for that. And I sat down. Not all songs happen really fast. Some songs take a little while to write. But this song literally flowed out of me in maybe 15 minutes, the whole song done. And when a song works like that, it's going to be magic. And I was so happy with it. Over this, I think in the summertime, I started producing it with a studio in New Hampshire. And so we just put it out this year. This is my first Christmas single.
That's awesome. So do you do most of your own writing when it comes to the songs that you have out?
Yeah. Yep, I do write all of my own stuff. Occasionally, I'll co-write. I feel like I've co-written with my brother before, or at least I've had him compose music with me. I've just done some writing sessions with this amazing songwriter from Las Vegas, but I haven't released any of that music yet. And I will be co-writing a Christian album in February.
Very cool. So I looked on your website and I saw that you've got some songs for download and for purchase, but do you actually have an album, or is it just the one-off songs? Because I didn't really see that, an album. So
yeah, most of my stuff, on my website, I don't have all of my music. My discography is all on Spotify, iTunes, Amazon. I do have an EP that I released when I was 18. I've never released a full-length album just because it's less savvy to do that as a young independent artist, just because it costs a lot of money to produce music, and when you release an album, people are only going to pick a few songs off of it anyway that are going to be your most popular, and then the rest of the songs that you put all this money and time into just kind of fall to the wayside, forgotten. And so when you're releasing singles or EPs, it's kind of like they all have their little moment to shine.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. And I feel like in today's, download one song at a time world, probably unless you're established, those albums just don't really make sense. So I understand that for sure. So I did look up, your Christmas song. I listened to it. I watched your American Idol audition. So I definitely have listened to you. So you have a very unique sound for sure. Who are some I guess of your musical inspirations?
I really grew up in a home where we listened to like everything, and I have a lot of inspiration from like 90s acoustic alternative. I love 70s music, very eclectic. I grew up in church, so there was a lot of church music. But like, people that I find inspirations for, not necessarily for my sound, but just for whatever reason, I find their music to be inspiring, and I like the way that I feel when I listen to their stuff. The Cranberries, Crowded House, Dinosaur Jr., Lana Del Rey, The Cure, those kind of artists, CB Nicks, are just a few people that like really, I don't know, there's something about their music that just has that magic factor for me.
No, I think that's interesting. Definitely that you said the Cranberries, because that's kind of what you sound like to me. The
Oh yeah.
Who is it? What I don't remember what her name is. I think she's passed away now, but
yeah, Dolores.
That's kind of what your sound sounds like to me. So have you covered Cranberries before? I think you have, haven't you?
I've done I think I did one cover on YouTube, and I tend to stay away from covering artists that people have compared me to, because I'm not trying to sound like anybody. I don't try to, copy anybody, but no, I have done a cover because especially when she died, I felt really, I don't know, I felt like it was the end of an era, and I wanted to cover one of her songs.
Right. No, for sure. Yeah, I mean, obviously, everyone has to be their own person. I hope you didn't dislike that I compared you to that. Okay.
No, it's all good.
So another thing that you mentioned is that you have an upcoming book, and it's a novel, correct? So tell us a little bit about the book.
Yeah. So I decided like 2.5 years ago that I've always known that I wanted to write a book someday. I just never have. I feel like everybody thinks that at one point, like, oh, it'd be cool to write a book. But like, I've always been really into creative writing, and I used to be fairly good at it, like in school. But then when I was 13, I started writing songs and playing music and singing, and that whole aspect and creative side of me just disappeared. I was focusing on music. And so a couple of years ago, I was like, no, you know what? I really would love to write a book. I've always wanted to do that. And so I did, and it's being like formatted, edited, ready. Like it's all done. It's just being like the final touches of it are being edited. It's a historical romance fiction. I'm very much into period dramas. I love like Jane Austen and Emily Bronte and those kind of books. And those kind of films have inspired me as far as when I'm writing. I'm inspired by, where I grew up. I'm from New Hampshire, and a lot of New England is very historical because I love early American history. Just that kind of stuff inspired me to write this book series.
Yeah. I mean, obviously the people listening can't see us here, but just on the wallpaper behind you, I feel like that you've maybe grown up in that colonial setting.
Yes, I have.
No, that's really cool though. So tell us too, when we're talking about music, your I guess it's called rewards music. What is rewards music?
Yeah. So this is really kind of neat. So a couple months ago, I met Dweezil Zappa, and I played some music for him and his wife, and he told me all about this new platform that he was a part of. And yeah, it's called Reward Music. It's actually my website now. So if you go to evelyncormier.com, that's where it will take you. But it's just this really cool platform that is instilling value back into the art, because we do live in a digital age where, people my age don't want to buy it. They don't want to buy your music when they can stream it, and I'm going to get 2 cents for every stream. You know what I mean? And so this is basically a platform where I can do almost anything that I want on everything. I can sell my merch on it. I can post my music for sale. I can sell music videos. I can make videos and sell the videos that I'm making. They can be exclusive content. I blog, vlogs, anything that I want can be done on the site. And so it's just really, really cool. People can become members. It's called Reward Music because you can literally, like, the more you are active on, you know, an artist's site, if you're commenting on their forums, if you're buying their songs, you can earn rewards on their website. So it's just really, it's a neat platform, and it's appealing, especially as an independent artist who is not making a lot of money from the streams or just, you know, Instagram followers. Basically, as far as money goes, you're not making money off of your Instagram followers. That's not, you know, I was talking with the CEO of Reward Music, and they're like, you know, the followers and the likes don't mean anything or translate anything for the artists. You know what I mean? So that's what they're trying to do with Reward Music. So if you want to support artists, Reward Music is the way to go.
Reward Music. So is there quite a few artists already taking part in it?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of getting started right now, and I'm just really excited to be getting in on the ground floor and, you know, learning how to use it and, yeah, just really capitalizing on what I do. I mean, I'm posting even things about my book. I'm posting short stories. I'm going to be starting a podcast with one of my friends for like a book club podcast. I'm into books. You know what I mean? It's a way for your followers to really get connected with you on a more personal level, I guess. And I really do try to interact with my fans as much as possible. And it's just an easier way to do that on Reward Music.
Very cool. So you said that when we go to your website, is it a Reward Music kind of landing page, or do you have, I guess, some kind of buy-in with Reward? That's what I'm trying to understand.
Yeah. So Reward Music is the platform that the website is built with. And so if you go to evelyncormier.com, it's going to take you to my own personal site. So I don't think you'll be directed to Reward Music. You'll be directed to my website.
I got you. No, that's really cool. So is it an app? Let's say that, you know, the fans want to make sure that they support you on there. Is it an app they can download, or is it just a website at the moment, or?
It's a website, so they can use a laptop, or it's also for, like, it's compatible with your cell phone or whatever you're using.
I got you. So, I mean, obviously we've talked a lot about the shows, kind of what projects you're working on, but now that all the shows are over and you've got your projects, what does life look like now? It's kind of a very broad question, but.
Yeah, it's interesting because this past year has been very interesting for a lot of artists. I mean, for a lot of people in general. I moved to Los Angeles, California, right before the shutdown, before we knew anything of this. It was probably the worst time to move there, but it worked out. I mean, everything is in God's will, but we moved there and I had all these projects in the works, and I was doing all these meetings with my manager and, you know, people in the business. And then when everything shut down, nobody wanted to meet. Projects were kind of put on hold. And I just felt like, okay, now what? You know, I'm out here in Los Angeles. I don't have family out here. I'm with my husband and he has a cousin here, but that's it. But you know what? I have gotten so much work done this year. Like I said, I wrapped up my book. I'm working on the 2 more books right now. I've done a ton of reading. I've written a ton of new music. I've been hired to write a soundtrack for an indie film. So I've been doing that. Just a lot of different little things that I've been able to do online. And also projects being set up for 2021 as well. Like I said, I'll be recording an album in February. So I'm pretty excited about that. My first album.
So you've got the books, your music, the Reward Music. You've just kind of just been hanging out and not really doing much, it sounds like.
Yeah, you know, what are you going to do about it? This year's been crazy.
Yeah, no, you've been busy for sure. That's really cool. So, you know, I guess the final question when it comes to the shows is, would you if given the opportunity, you know, and you hadn't done it, would you go back and do all of those 2 again? Yeah.
No, for sure. And I think that, you know, people have asked me that too, because sometimes they see the negative aspects and like, wow, would you really put yourself through that again? Yeah, absolutely. And I think that it's a huge part of getting out there as an artist. You can't pay for that kind of publicity. And it's, you know, you take it, the good and the bad. And every single thing that I've done has been a stepping stone to the next project. And both of those shows have played a huge role in my life and the things that I've accomplished. And I'm, grateful for both opportunities, and I would do them again.
Very good. Very good. So how are we going to be able to find Evelyn Cormier? I guess if they're not already following you, how can they follow you on all the social media? Where do we go to get your music, all that good stuff?
Pretty much, if you just go on Google and type in Evelyn Cormier, you can find me whatever website you're looking for, whether it's Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, wherever I am at. Also, go to evelyncormier.com.
Very good. Very good. Well, I'll tell you, it's been a pleasure speaking with you. I really appreciate your time, and have a very happy holidays. We are filming this at Christmas time. I'm not exactly sure when it'll come out, but I appreciate you being here.
No, thank you for having me. This was fun.
Absolutely. And that was my interview with Evelyn Cormier. Really great person. Really appreciate her time today. So glad she joined us. Hope you learned something about 90 Day Fiancé. If it's something you watch, hope you learned something about American Idol. I really appreciated her time. I'll tell you that her music really is really cool. She's got an interesting sound, just like we mentioned. So definitely pick up a single, check her out on Spotify, and check her out on her website. I think that this definitely is not the end of hearing from her. Potentially on, a TLC show, like she mentioned, like she kind of teased, or certainly with CDs and also that book. Don't forget that. I hope that you did enjoy this. I'll tell you, my goal always is to just bring on a wide variety of people. I try to kind of separate them out should topics be kind of similar. Travel's obviously been a big one, but I separate those out. Same thing with these, reality people that I'll bring on. I'll tell you, it's not going to ever be anyone that's just, on those, fight. I don't want to say cat fight, but those shows that just nothing but drama. Don't really like that. But 90 Day Fiancé is a unique show where we get to see kind of a real process, a K-1 visa process. Obviously, it is a little bit more dramatic. I hope I didn't, burst anyone's, bubble as far as reality show, that they do have to kind of add a little bit of drama for, the cameras. I think it's absolutely based in reality, and, quite a bit of it is, reality, but they absolutely have to, make it entertaining as well. So hopefully that doesn't hurt anyone, that some of this is a little bit, not necessarily maybe scripted, but a little bit planned out. But yeah, when I do bring on reality people, it certainly will be spaced out as well, just like any other topic. Appreciate you being here. I hope you enjoy the diversity of all these different topics. You never know what the topic's going to be in a given week. That's kind of my goal. Again, so glad you're here. Hope you enjoyed this one. Hope you learned something about reality shows, the music industry, all that good stuff. See you next time, and take it away, Chris.
This has been Not in a Huff with Jackson Huff. Thank you for listening. Be sure to join us next time, where we will interview another amazing guest who is sure to make you laugh or make you think. Or, hey, maybe even both. But until then, keep being awesome.